This is the 22nd season of Bass Talk Live. BTL is presented by Bass Cat Boats, Strike King Lures, AFTCO, Pro Guide Batteries, Spro, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Beatdown Outdoors, and Sunline.
BTL coming at you.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of BTL Bass Talk Live. We're going to talk about bass fishing. Yes, I know it's a shock. It's 8:30 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. We're live. We've done a couple night shows the last couple weeks. Like every year, there's that time of the year where it's just like you're past the beginning of the year. Then you have every tour that's all over the board. And then I've got Bassmaster Opens and events. So we're talking 3.5 weeks running on the road between Grand Lake, back-to-back St. Jude's, leave for Kentucky Lake this Thursday, and then you had BPTs on top of Elite Series, on top of WON Basses, on top of pro circuits, and it's easy to get lost in the mix. So we're trying to do our best to navigate it, to get it back through. So I head to Kentucky Lake on Friday for the Bassmaster Open. But I wanted to definitely get this show in because over the years I met him and I think his, shake your head right, fiance at the Bassmat. Didn't want to I've been down that road before at the Bassmaster Classic. He actually hooked me up with a hat, talked to him for a long time. He's caught them extremely well, so it wasn't a big surprise here. But Cody Steckel had a big come from behind win in the WON BASS Lake Havasu Open, and Lake Havasu to me, I talked to Dean a lot, and Dean's on Lake Havasu. You've got Roy Hawk from Lake Havasu City, Josh Bertrand, who doesn't fish Havasu nearly as much as some of the other lakes there in Arizona, but he fishes it. But that lake has always had a little bit of like mystique, and I think rest in peace, Aaron Martins with the baby bird pattern really kind of helped that out. But also, you go there, well, February, March, April, this time of year, and it is chaos at the boat ramp. Like the crazy stuff. You've got like, I think the London Bridge that's there. You've got world record red ear. You've got all sorts of stuff on that. So I said, you know what? I said, I would love to get Cody on the show to talk about Lake Havasu because I think it's a pretty cool lake and it's also going through a lot of changes. And he also just won a brand new Ranger Z518 and guides a lot out there too. So Cody, did I kind of set up Havasu fairly effectively?
Oh yeah, you set it up perfectly. It's a big party lake, and this past week it sure was because it was Mother's Day. So of course there's going to be everybody and their mother out there.
Okay, so I'm in Oklahoma, and I was just at Table Rock Lake on the Saturday before Mother's Day, and it was a nice balmy Saturday, but it got a little sporty towards the afternoon. So much so that Jeffries and I kind of pointed our bass cat back towards the ramp, and then with an hour and a half left said, I think we'll just stay in this arm. Describe to people what Lake Havasu is like on a weekend in early May.
On a weekend early May, I mean, the whole boat ramp, there's 3 or 4 major ones on there, and they're fully packed. I mean, to the brim of trailers. And you can't even go more than like 35, 40 on the lake because you're just pounding waves. Like I broke my talon brackets there before, and those things are heavy duty, and I broke those things, and it's just a place that's like a washing machine because waves come from everywhere. You never know which way they're coming, and they got a casino boat that goes across the lake to the Indian reservation.
Really?
And that thing in the morning gets you every single time. I mean, there's some big wakes off of that. It's flat calm. You're blasting off, and next thing you know, you're in 3-foot waves going crazy.
I have to be careful what I show on Lake Havasu because they're very fond of their bikinis also on, on Lake Havasu. But this is just from like this year. Like, just look at the background of all the stuff that is going on. Like, we're talking major party lake, and also look at all the boats in the background of that. So that's is that what you're fishing in, or are you like running up the rivers, getting away from people, or?
No, I decided to stay out of the river because about 2 years ago on Mother's Day, actually, I took both my parents up the river, and that type of boat right there was going by about at 100 miles an hour. I mean, it flew probably 25 feet away from us going down the river as we were going up. And I turned to my parents, I'm like, man, that was a close one. And next thing you know, one's flying by, my dad could have high-fived him out of the passenger seat of the bass boat. I mean, it was, we said, we're turning around right here. We're not going any further up in here. But yeah, it's just crazy.
All right. For those who don't know about you, you were fairly close to making the Elite Series a couple years ago.
Yeah, after the first three of the Opens is when I met you at the Classic.
Yep.
And I was telling you I was in 13th, and you're like, yeah, you're kicking my ass, you know?
It hasn't been hard to do. I'm back in form this year, though. I'm ready to get him at Kentucky Lake.
But yeah, and the first three of those, I was doing pretty good, and I thought I had a good shot at it, but went to some spotted bass lakes and kind of fell a little bit, but.
And you're talk about a little bit about where you're from, and then you also guide full time, or you guide part-time, and then we'll get into this tournament, because I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that's going on at Havasu right now.
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Vegas. I've been here my whole life, and I did a lot of striper fishing when I was little with my dad, and we just always were on the pontoon, and that kind of led to seeing the WON BASS US Open going out, and I saw those boats and said, hey, Dad, I want to do that. You know, I want to be on a bass boat and stuff, and that led into more of the bass fishing and all that. And then later on, I helped out with a lot of high school kids and figured out that I could actually guide and do stuff and help people out and take people out. So yeah, I'm a fishing guide on Lake Mead and Lake Mojave, and I try to take a lot of people to Lake Mojave because there's some big smallmouth down there, and their average is like 3.5 pound smallmouth. But you can't take away the scenic views of Lake Mead, because going through the Narrows, I'm sure you remember that.
Oh yeah, I've done it one time. I'm still on the fence about jumping in this year's Open. I'm going up to Champlain. I'm going up to Canada. I've got a bunch, but man,
it's going to be fun.
The pull of the West. I might actually sign up for it after the show today.
You should. It's going to be a lot of fun. I took a guide trip out on Monday, and we caught probably 20 to 30 fish, and it was just on jigs. Just everything's easy, you know.
Yeah, I remember the first time I was out there. It would have been 2018, and it was with Hallman, and he had live scope on the boat, but he was still really, really new, trying to figure out what was going on with it. But I remember we caught like a 13, 14-inch smallmouth, and there was like a school of them, and it was so clear and so pristine. They literally stayed under the boat for like 500 yards using the shade of the boat as ambush, and we were just like dropping drop shots straight down nothing, and they were coming out of the shade line of the boat and just like grabbing the drop shot, and we were watching it visually, and we were like, okay, we're not at Grand Lake anymore.
You're right, because the boats are the only thing that had structure on the lake besides the rocks. All of our trees are basically gone now. You know,
yeah. And
our water is 180 feet low.
You've maintained guiding through all of the drought and through all of that.
Yep. I've been doing it for 2 years now.
Really? So what is what would you say your average clientele is? I mean, do you have guys who like to fish, and they're in Vegas partying for the weekend, and they're like, let's go fish it on Mead?
Yeah, I've had a lot of people like, hey, I put in the phone. I was like, hey, we can actually fish here. You know, like there's a big lake, and they decided to call last minute, try to get out there. And a lot of them, I've had quite a few people from outside the U.S. Like I got a Japanese guy that comes almost every 2 months, you know, and but yeah, it's a lot of striped bass fishermen. A lot of people want to take fish home, and I say, hey, we're not doing any largemouth or smallmouth. You can keep as many stripes as you want because they just changed the limit this year of having unlimited amount of stripes that you want that you can keep. There's no limit whatsoever.
Holy cow. So is that, do you still do that where you get down into like Vegas wash and you're just like burning stuff across the surface and they come up like freaking tarpon behind there, just
Oh yeah,
and then
yeah.
just zzz on the, because I remember that
Well,
was so much fun.
well, I remember last year before the Lake Mead Open that was in August or September. We I took a guide trip out late August going for boil stripers. So I had the lipless on, swim baits on, and I had a party of four that wanted to keep stripes. So I was like, all right, I got those on. And the younger girl was like, hey, I want to catch a bass. I was like, okay, I got one rod that's got a jig on it back there. She's sitting on the front of the pontoon, throws it over her shoulder, and is just kind of sitting there with it. I'm like, all right, well, she might catch one, I guess. But first cast, I mean, I just see that rod just hit. I go, dude, set the hook, set the hook. She sets the hook, and it's a 6.5 pound largemouth. First
Holy
cast,
smoke.
and then we're taking pictures. Her dad's got a rattle trap. Three casts later, goes straight down the bank with it, catches a 5.5 pound largemouth. I go, oh, all right. Well, I'm gonna waypoint this spot for the for the open here in a week and a half, and we'll see if I can come back for these.
That's
But man,
cool.
I was like, I told him I was like, I can't guarantee any bigger fish than these two for the rest of the day. But it's been crazy.
All right.
We've been
Well,
go
let's
ahead.
get into this Havasu Open. There you are, like 60K for the win in a field that was full of hammers. Talk a little bit about, I mentioned it, but I'd love to hear from you. You've been on the lake. I actually had to cancel a trip out there with Rojas during the red ear spawn just because I got too busy. We were going to go try
It's
to.
just now getting on right now for them.
Yeah, I know. I was supposed to be out there very soon, but uh I think when I think of Lake Havasu, I think of the big smallmouth, the Clifford perches and Brett Heights and Bertrands out there. And then you've got the power fishermen with the chatterbaits and the glide baits and the frogs and 20 plus pound bags. But Havasu's gone through some changes over the past couple years, just as far
Yeah.
as the quality and the fish population out there.
Oh, 100%. I feel like a big change that's happened is the snowbirds. We've been having a lot of people come down from Montana, Idaho, all the northern states up there and coming down for that warmer winter. And they all bring boats down. I even see it here at Lake Mead up in Overton. The campground up there is full. I mean, there's 40 to 60 campers up there, and they all got boats. And I see them up there just trolling for stripes every day. But it's the same way down there. They're catching big largemouth and a whole bunch of these red ears and everything, and you see all these fish just getting filleted and taken photos of, and they don't even think of a limit anymore. And I went a week before the tournament with my fiance, and we caught a few red ears, so we were going to clean them up for dinner. And we're filleting them, and this guy brings up a nice crappie. I was like, "Oh man, that's a nice one!" And next thing you know, he grabs out of his live well, puts it in the net, takes it up, and it's a 6.5 pound largemouth,
Oof.
and it's still moving. I was about to say, "Hey, I'll give you these four extra red ears if I can go take that back." And sure enough, he just gets that fillet knife out and just goes right down the side.
It's a
So I
lot
was
of
like,
good
"Oh."
meat on a spawning 6.5 pounder, Cody.
Yeah, I even told my fiance when he was coming up with the boat, I go, I bet you he's got a big largemouth or something in that boat because they every single one of them do, you know.
Mhm. A lot going on the lake. It seemed like there was maybe some post spawn fish, some fish that were still spawning, some fish that were on that were guarding fry. Talk a little bit about how you attacked this tournament, knowing also the boat traffic that you'd have to face.
Yeah, so I kind of went off a little bit of last year's. I had a lot of fry garters, and I decided to really focus on one big stretch, which everybody else did. I told Dano day two that me and Anthony, the leader, are going to start right next to each other on the final day. And sure enough, we're 40 yards apart and saying, "Hey, you leave some for me." Or, "No, I'll leave some for you." Like we're yelling back and forth at each other, like, "Hey, we're in this together type deal, But yeah, I was doing a lot of fry garden stuff, and then down south there was a few beds, and there were some big females with them. There was two fish that my dad found in practice that, I mean, one had to be probably 8 to 9 pounds. The other one, I want to say, I saw it a few days in a row. It was probably 11 to 12. I think it
What's
was
the
a
lake
state record.
record?
The lake record. It was 11:34. I looked it up
Holy smoke.
because
And did
I
you
thought
think you
for
had a
sure.
shot at it, or was it
Oh,
was
100%.
it dicey?
100%. I could have caught it the day before,
No
100%.
way.
I mean, me and my dad we stood on the boat looking down at it for probably 25 minutes. And it looked
And
like
it was
two of them
locked
that were
on.
just about to, they looked like they were about to be on a bed, to be honest with you. Like they were just sitting there, and you just see that big one, the mouth just open wide. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Was it hard
if
not
I
to
get
catch
that
it,
one,
knowing that
oh,
that's like,
100%.
as a guide, knowing that that could be a potential lake record?
Yeah, 100%. But my dad saw him the day before, and then he took me over there the day before the tournament.
Hmm.
And I go, my dad thought they were 5 or 6 pounders because he caught a 3.5 that was in them. It's like, oh yeah, those are 6 pounders. And I go, hey, show me where those are so I know how to come into them and stuff. And sure enough, I go in there and go, oh my God, that is not a 6, 7 pounder. That's definitely at least 11. And I looked up the state record or the lake record right there, and I was like, holy crap, dude! Like, I have a shot at this. And first day, me and my co both saw it come up into that spot, and she just didn't really want to stay there. We had an algae bloom, and there was a whole bunch of carp.
Did you
And
start there?
oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. So like the night before the tournament, you had to just be like
No,
no
I
sleep
thought
whatsoever.
I thought I could get a 30-pound bag. That's what I was thinking. I mean, if I had those two and that 6.5 that I caught, I'd definitely be over 30.
Hmm. And
I
you
mean,
think it just was the timing was off by 24 hours?
24 hours. Yep. That algae bloom came in and it just kind of destroyed it. But I could
Oh,
still see her there the third day on the scope.
what did that look like on scope?
So, I mean, it looks like a massive carp on there. But you could tell that she would kind of slowly go over to it and then kind of drift away.
Uh-huh. How long did you spend on it?
The first day I went there probably 8 or 10 different times.
Okay, so like a
Hours.
third of a third of
Hours.
your day, and you ended up winning the tournament, was spent just looking for the biggest bass in the lake.
Yeah, I spent probably 2 to 3 hours there the first day, and then I would say 2 hours the second day, and maybe an hour on the final
Did
day.
she show any interest whatsoever during the tournament? Like, were there any
No,
moments where you were like, "Oh my God, here she comes"?
there was one cast, but no, she didn't seem like she wanted to be in there.
So that makes it even more impressive that you have that in the back of your mind. You're fishing for 8,
Hmm.
16, 24 hours in the tournament, and probably 6 of those hours were spent either running to or going from a specific fish.
Yeah, and then the first 2 days I went flipping in Bill Williams, which is a 15-minute idled in and a 15-minute idle out because it's a no wake area and you got to go a long ways to get there. And then flipping for an hour and a half. So that
Is that
wastes about
the
2 hours.
cattail flipping?
Yeah, yep.
Is that still a thing out there?
Oh yeah, I tried the whole Aaron Martins thing and throw it way up and over and never got anything to go on that. But I caught a few 3 pounders, which my dad in practice caught a 6.5.
And
You
your
know,
dad finished 12th on the AAA side, so he fished in the tournament, right?
last year he finished 12th.
Last year, too. Okay.
Yeah, this year we're not going to talk about that one because he got a few bad draws and didn't do so well this
Yeah.
year.
Interesting. The WON BASS. I know a lot of BTL. I talk about the WON BASS stuff a lot, but it's a AAA pro draw. Everyone fishes. Does everyone fish 3 days in that too?
Everybody fishes 3 days.
Everyone fishes 3 days, but your weight for your pro and your AAA count the same each day. So, like, if you caught
Yep.
5 for 20 and your AAA slept the whole time, he would be leading with
Yeah.
5 for 20, or vice versa. If you had a
Yep.
bad day and your co like waxed 18 pounds, it counted towards your weight too. So
Yeah.
whenever anybody hooks up in the boat in that WON BASS format, it gets real intense real quick.
Oh yeah, especially because I'll have 1 or 2 rods ready for those guys because I want them to catch this fish just as much as I want to. Like, I want them to catch that 3 to 4 pounder that's gonna push us up another pound and a half. If they catch one, it's everything for me. It's one less fish I have to catch.
Mm-hmm.
And with Billy's thing is, at the final day, if you're leading it, you're the first one out, but you're the last one to come in. So you have that long day, and it just makes it really nice.
You went 1852, 1490, 1682. Heading into the final day, was it Anthony Garcia who was leading it?
Yeah.
And he is pretty good on Havasu. So did you think, hey, I got a legit shot at this boat and this title, or was that kind of a surprise coming in with only 16 pounds and being like, holy cow, I won this
I
thing.
thought I was going to need a whole nother pound to at least have a shot. I told Dano, the writer, that if I have 17...
Sullivan, advanced angler, he's done a lot of stuff with Bass Zone and BTL in the past. So, yeah.
Yeah, I told him, I go, once I get 17, then I feel like I have a shot. If I'm below that, I feel like I just didn't do enough, and I had the fish to do it. I had those 2 fish down south that if I got those to go, I was going to win no matter what, and I had it in the back of my mind all day of, hey, I just need 17 to 20, just get up to that. And I lost one fish the final day early, and I told my I go, we have to go back for this fish later on, or I'm going to lose this thing. And sure enough, we go back there, and I spend 45 minutes to an hour, and she won't eat nothing. And then I pull up right on top of her. She had 2 red ear come in, and I saw her go over there and just smack one. I was like, dude, did you just see that? And I got one of those Depths bowgills.
Yeah.
And a big 4-inch one. I put it in the night before and rigged it on a 1 drop shot hook. And I mean, that drop shot hook is that dinky to like that big of a bait, and throw it down there first cast, catch it. And that's what basically won the whole thing for me. Was going back for that one.
That bull flat, that thing that's like the big
this got the little tail
with the triangular tail on it.
Yep.
Oh, that was a smooth move. I need to get some of those for the next
because when they're doing bluegill and stuff like that, they don't want no fish in there. That's why the final day I switched to a little. I had to go to the store. Well, my dad went to the store for me and bought exactly that thing, but more green pumpkin.
Okay,
because it was trying to match those red ears,
and then just nose hooked it.
I nose hooked it and made it where it was standing straight up instead of flat.
Okay, so you nose hooked it through. Interesting.
Through it sideways, just like that. Yeah. Because I wanted a bigger presentation coming by it, and sure enough, she ate that thing first cast in there, and I was shocked. I was like, "Oh crap, we got it."
Very cool. All right, well, we're going to take a first break of the show. When we come back, I want to dive into a little bit of the setup that you used, because whether it's the minnow or the drop shot, one of the things that I thought was interesting that I have not heard a lot of yet is the length of the spinning rod that you were using. Okay. A 7.7. That's almost like a float and fly rod, Cody.
I love long rods.
Okay, so we'll get into that. It's BTL, regularly scheduled BTL on a Wednesday, May 13th. Havasu Open champ Cody Steckel will be back right after this.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
Pro Bass Adventures is reinventing Mexico bass fishing. With boats equipped with 12-inch Garmin units and LiveScope Plus, free loaner fishing rods, and no-cost airport transportation, Pro Bass Adventures is proudly putting you in the best position for success. Pro Bass Adventures has lodges on Lake Baccarat and Lake El Salto, Mexico's two best trophy largemouth bass lakes. Visit probassadventures.com or email probassadventures@gmail.com. The official Mexico fishing lodge of Bass Talk Live.
At Beatdown Outdoors, we know you depend on your gear to hold up in any condition. We built for that. We test for that. In fact, we pride ourselves in that. Because we know when the time comes to test your gear, you aren't going to take it easy, so we won't. We build premium, made-in-the-USA products that you can rely on in the moments when your equipment should be the last thing on your mind.
I fish in some of the worst elements across the country. Spring, that's a giant, dude. Summer, oh my gosh. Hi, look at that thing. Winter, it's so cold. And fall. Got a big one, that's awesome.
Being comfortable and staying dry is the only option.
AFCO, any fish, any water.
All right, welcome back. Detail on a Wednesday. Talking with Cody Steckel, who bedfished, and then when I say finesse, like really finessed his way to the win in the Havasu Open. I want to go to the press release where it talks a little bit about some of the things that you did to get the job done on Lake Havasu. And the first thing that stuck out to me was there's a little bit of minnow action. We're going to lose about 3 viewers as soon as I said this. Live scoping with the minnow. There's 3 viewers. Yeah. Comments coming on. We'll see you guys for day 4 in 3, 2, 1. There they are. They're gone. But I mean, I fancy myself a minnow expert, and I do not have any 3 32nd ounce jig heads in the boat, and I rarely throw anything under 3/16. But in your press release, you said you had to go to the tackle store and buy. I mean, that's basically like just a hook with a little bit of lead on it.
I mean, it's just
3 32nd ounce range roller.
Yeah, I mean, I normally throw a 1/4 ounce, so I always throw something heavy because I'm a smallmouth guy, and I'd rather just get it down there, get it to where they are.
Yeah, efficiency.
But that thing, I could tell just they wanted it slower. They wanted it where they see it and get pissed off even more about it, you know? And so my dad was like, hey, I'm going to the tackle store. I need to go buy some braid. We're going flipping up in the river with my pro tomorrow. And I go, hey, if you're going there, can you get me some 3 32nd ounce heads? I don't care what brand or what they are. Just give me something, you know? He comes back with the range rollers, and sure enough, they did the job for me. And I had some of the evergreen last aces with me, and I threw that thing out there. It was in the natural shad color, and I mean, those things looked so good. They had a nice little wobble to them.
I've never thrown that minnow. Is that one that I need to add to the arsenal? I mean, I'm pretty much a sock and a Z2 guy.
I'm a big Z2 guy, but that thing right there made a huge difference, because you
can get it to roll on that very tiny little jig head.
You just gotta barely slowly go with it, and you're just shaking.
And you think was that a pressure thing, that those fish didn't want something that was, you know,
they've seen so many worms. They've seen so many worms going through there. Everybody's throwing a drop shot. Everybody's throwing the dice. Everybody's throwing. Our lakes are big robo lakes. You know, yeah. We got our desert craws or oxbloods and all of those nice brown colors. You know, and I just decided I wanted to do something totally different. Get it out there where it just slowly goes over their head. And my that final day was, I had the live scope mirrored to an 18.5-inch screen up front, and he was just watching it off of the back, and he goes, dude, you put on a clinic with that thing. Even though I only caught 7 or 8 fish doing it, I got all of those to go.
The 7.7 medium action Phoenix feather caught my attention, because I would definitely say that the standard is a 6'10" to a 7 foot. And I've got a couple 7.6s that I use up north for smallmouth or for hair, but when it comes to that long rod, school us on the benefits of that 7.7.
For me, it's just a personal preference. I like it because I feel like I can cast a little further with it, and I have a little more play. When I hook those fish, I have a lot more bend to it, and I can just use it a little bit more to my advantage instead of having a shorter rod. You get a little more backbone out of those shorter rods, which I'd rather have more of a good tip than anything else.
Okay, so you don't. I have struggled on the 7.6 of getting, like, it tends to be a little whippy on the action instead of like that. You don't have any issues with the long rod and the action and then landing the fish as they get close. But I guess you guys can use nets too, right?
Yeah, we're allowed to use nets, but in practice, I didn't even use a single net. I just brought them straight to the boat, and I never had any problems trying to get them into the boat at all. You got a big boat, so you can go long arm that rod right behind you and be able to get that fish. So the longer rods aren't that big of a deal for me, I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, is this it right here? The extra fast Phoenix feather spinning 7 8 to 15.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. That's a $179 rod too. That's a very very affordable option. And
exactly
the longest that they make. But then the other thing that I thought was interesting was you were going super finesse, but then still 10-pound leader.
Yep. Well, I had 8-pound braid to 10-pound leader.
But the 10-pound leader, instead of going to 8, 7, 6, anything like that.
Yeah, the only reason was because of all those cages.
Okay.
Havasu is filled with artificial structure, cribs, whatever you want to call them. Yep. Because every cove you go into is going to at least have 10 to 15.
And those are all marked. Like, you look on your unit, it says the Department of Natural Resources has put a crib right here. Everybody that's in the tournament knows where they are. There's no secret
Most
cribs.
of them. There's a lot of new ones that come out, and they do a lot of tree planting too. So, like, you'll see a whole bunch of new brush piles and all that stuff that aren't marked, and that usually are really good. If you can find those new ones, you're gonna do pretty good off of them.
What's the game plan here? Are you cool just staying out west, fishing the WON Bass, guiding, or are you is there a little part of you that is like, all right, we want to fish professionally?
I definitely want to do professionally. That's definitely one of my big goals. And when the opens kind of changed to just pros, it kind of put a little damper on it, just because my dad does a lot of the tournaments with me.
Right. Yeah.
So it was really cool to be able to go out there in the last time I did them in 24, where I was able to go out there and he could jump in and be able to practice with me, hang out for the week, and then he could do a tournament too. He was in like the top 5 for the longest time for the Angler of the Year on the AAA side there. And they switched it over to that, and I kind of decided to just stay home, start the guiding, do all that stuff. But this next year, I'm definitely going to start doing one division of the opens.
All right, so you're going to jump back in 27.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the format now where it's like, hey, you did good enough to pay us another $10,500, but the payout is better, and that it's a smaller field. So,
but yeah, we've had a lot of good team tournaments here, where we have M2 Fishing has done a phenomenal job here. They're part of the ABA series that does the West Coast, and they've gotten so many good sponsors that the Angler of the Year this year gets $10,000.
Okay.
And right now, my dad and I are leading that.
So it's a family deal. Like, every time I've seen you at the Classic, you got the family there, your fiance, like everyone's a part of it. So this isn't something that you should strike out on alone. Like, you have included your whole family's a fishing family.
Oh, 100%. My fiance has a 7-year-old, and he asks me every time I'm going, guy, hey, can I go? I want to go, and so I got the itch in him now, and every time he goes out, he's like, "Oh, there's one," and uh, but yeah, it's a big family thing for me. I had my whole family down there when I won in Havasu, and it was amazing to have them there.
Yeah. And then is your full-time job guiding now, or do you also, so you're a
Yeah,
full-time guide?
it's just full-time guiding and then tournaments as well.
Okay. Is that what you've always done? Have you ever had a 9 to 5
I
where you
had a
had to make
job.
the
I had
decision to
a
quit?
Yeah, I worked at a hospital here in Vegas for 7, 8 years, but they made it where I was basically like an on-call person. I only had to work 3 days a month. So I was able to get out fishing whenever I wanted to, and I just come back and they're like, "Hey, work as many days as you want, but we only require 3. So if you want to be gone for a month, you can go be gone for a month and come back." So I was like, "Oh, hell yeah, let's go out there and we'll do this for a little bit and then go fishing and come back, make a little bit of money for all the tackle and go right back out.
I like it. How many, I guess, full-time guides would you say are there on Mead?
On
And
me, there's probably 5.
so that's not, I mean, there's 5 out of every marina on like Sam
Yeah,
Rayburn or
oh
Toledo
yeah,
Bend or
exactly.
Gunnersville.
And well, there's probably maybe 6, but
Mhm.
out of the 6, there's only 2 bass fishermen.
Okay.
There's only 2 bass boats. So all the other guys are all striper stuff. So me and the other guy get all the bass fishing people that are like, "Hey, you got the bass boats, let's go." But I also have a pontoon boat that I take up to 5 people. So it's like,
This is
"Hey,
the
we can go out."
pontoon right here, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And then this is the setup of the pontoon. So is that, if I'm looking at
Yeah.
this, is that a big scope screen right there on the
Yeah,
pontoon
that's
for
a
the
10-inch scope. Yep. That's how we catch all of our bait. We throw we can see our bait on that live scope and throw the cast net out there and be able to catch bait super easy.
what are we talking? Thread fins or?
Thread fins, gizzard shad. We've gotten a lot of gizzard shads that have been 5, 6 inches lately, and those stripes have been loving them. My dad
Really?
actually lost probably a 20-pound plus stripe the other day.
Uh, I'll go through it. I mean, I'm on the website. I should ask you before
Yeah.
this. Everything up to date here, because this
Yeah,
seems
everything should be up
reasonable.
to date except for the photo of the bass boat. I just got a new boat in December, so
Okay. But I mean, you can do a half day, $450 or $500 on that. So I mean, if you're doing I should have turned this into a guide day episode, Cody. But I mean,
right?
if
Hey,
you're
it's
a
all good.
business guy who's rolling into Vegas and
Uh-huh.
you've got an extra day and you're at one of the convention centers and you don't
Yep.
want to make poor life decisions and spend a day out in nature,
So it's a
what
little
is-
cheaper that way sometimes.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely, you could do a full day for $700, which is 3 bad hands on the blackjack
Exactly.
table.
Yeah.
What is I'm trying to remember. It's like what, 45 minutes basically outside of
The strip, it's
actual-
probably 45 minutes to an hour because
Yeah.
a lot of the stripe stuff I do for the pontoon is out of Hemingway,
Okay.
and then a lot of the bass stuff is out of Colville because the lower basin for bass it's not the greatest. So
Yeah.
I always try to go up and try to go into the other basin, and it usually does pretty good.
How has that low water affected the movement of the fish? I mean, I know you fish Mead for a long time. Has it completely changed the fishery, or is it the
Oh,
same thing?
it changes every day. It
Really?
changes every day. It's gone down 4 feet in the last week and a half.
Oh my gosh.
So by the U.S. Open in October, in October, it's gonna be totally different lake.
So is
I mean,
Overton like just dry? Like the very back end of Overton, where like
Well,
the one
where
year
I
that I
came in-
started, it was like 5, like it was like Brett Height and Chris Zaldane and Amart was fishing that one and
yeah,
Cliff Perch. I would imagine that had, I mean, but it was only like 5 foot deep with like, I mean, imagine
oh
there's
yeah,
like,
it's
that's like miles
gone.
dry.
It's gone. Yeah, because there was a tournament I had like 3 weeks ago that I was like, hey, I flipped these bushes. We caught 7 out of this one bush. We need to go back there, and I went back there for practice the day before, and I'm like, oh, it's way up there, like it's high and dry where all these fish should be pulled out on this point, but they're not. But
Mhm.
it's gonna change a lot of area. I mean, the water's dropping quick.
You want to do this for a living. You've had, like I said, really good success across the country, but I'm thinking Florida, TVAs, Grand, up north. Is there what are the similarities, or what is the learning curve going from primarily Mead and Mojave to all these places out east? Because I know, having gone from out east west, it's like a completely different world, and I'm impressed with the guys who are able to come from those desert areas and compete on stuff that has to be, I mean, like a foreign land.
Oh yeah, it's a foreign land because we see, like, I'm a big sight fisherman. I love to see the fish. Like, I feel like if I can see one, I can catch it 90% of the time.
Mhm.
Like, that's how I feel with it. And we could see 20 to 40 feet a lot of the times in these lakes. So I'm most of the time I'm on the trolling motor just going down the bank looking with my eyes. I'm not I don't I don't even have a transducer on my bass boat right now besides a scope.
Yeah.
Like that's how I don't even have that, you know? And but going out east, like the first open I did in Florida, I was like, holy crap, I can only see like maybe a foot. Like, what is this? Like, I've never seen this before, you know? And just had to make a big difference, like changing baits differently and a few different color changes. But even going to like Eufaula in Oklahoma, I mean, that was the dirtiest water I've ever seen, where we were seeing like an inch and a half.
Yeah.
And we got on a robo bite with a drop shot. I'm like, I would have never guessed this. Like, how
Yeah,
did
they
we
live
find
it there.
this?
They could see it. But I mean, I would
yeah,
also
it's
imagine a place, go from Mead to like a Santee Cooper, just driving around, getting around, fishing trees and
oh,
things like
I
that.
was white knuckled when we went there, and for the open. I mean, I was just like, holy crap! There's trees everywhere. I went a few months before when the water was low and I could see all those trees, and then when we went for the open, it was water was high and you couldn't see them, but you knew they were there.
Yeah.
So me and my dad are just like, please just stay in the channel, just do this, don't go anywhere else.
But I mean, you
And
caught 20 pounds a day there, dude.
I was sight fishing every single one of them.
Really?
Yep, I went into those backwaters and I could see them in 3 foot of water. I had Brian New, Andrew Upshaw. I had all those guys in those backwaters with me, and I could see them just going right past all those bedfish that I had marked. And I told my co, I go, hey, I got one backwater over here that I don't think anybody's really going to be in it. And sure enough, there's 6 boats. My dad is on one of those boats. I'm like, oh, come on now. My dad knows where all these ones are. This is gonna suck. But he didn't fish those. He knew where those were, and he's like, I'm gonna cast out this way. And sure enough, I see them go right by all those fish, and I go, oh, all right, well, we'll try it out. We'll see if the first one's there, and pull down just outside of it a little ways, and sure enough, that guy comes right back, catch it, 4.5. Go down to the next one, another 4.5. I go, dude, they're all here. Like, just take your time and go through them. And I'm one to save fish for multiple days. So I had one area that I don't even touch most of the time for until like day 2 or day 3. So at that Santee Cooper, I had one whole different area that I didn't even want to touch, didn't even want to go to the first day, and I felt really good with 20 pounds the first day. I was like, oh man, I should be doing pretty good, but everybody else sacked them up too. So I was like, holy crap, like I'm still down in 20th place with 20 pounds. But going back out the second day and having another 20 pounds to go with it and getting my first open check was pretty darn cool.
Were you perspective those, or were you actually
eyes on most of them?
Really?
Probably
So
90%.
So I've done a lot of media. I've been on the boat with Velvic and Grigsby and Rojas and the guys, and it's unbelievable. Even like Hallman back when he fished, it's unbelievable during that on how you can think you're a pretty good bed fisherman, but the ability to see fish that other people miss, like you wouldn't
100%.
You wouldn't think that's a thing until you've seen it with your own eyes, where you're with a guy and you're both on the front deck and he's like, there's one. And you're like, I see 0.
And it happens all the time with me. I'm guiding. I'm like, hey, there's one right there. Like, cast out. And they're like, what? Like, where?
Is that just time on the water, or is there a specific,
yeah,
is there any way to like
practice
that other than
having good sunglasses too. I wear Costas every day, and changing lenses when
Really?
it's
So you're
cloudy
a
versus
lens
dark.
change. You're a lens change guy.
100%. I have to have yellows when it's dark or cloudy.
So you'll
I mean,
switch over the course of the day. You'll have the low light with
100%.
the yellows, and then
Yep. Most of the time, I'll start with
interesting.
yellows on my first run, and then once that sun cracks the hill, then I'll start with some blue or green tint.
Okay. I would imagine with the U.S. Open back at Lake Mead, that's high on your priority list to get
Oh
to
yeah.
get that U.S. Open trophy.
Yep. That's come close once before in 2020, and I was leading that event going into the final day. I thought I was going to be able to pull it off, but I had one area that I milked, and it just that was one event that I was like, hey, I could win this, and they upped the prize money that year to 100,000, a brand new boat, so it was like 180. I couldn't sleep that second night. I was like wide open. My dad was trying to charge the batteries on the boat because they were about dead every night,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in the campground where the actual campground, not the RV spots. And the campground host would come over and, hey, it's 10 o'clock. You got to turn that thing off. And sure enough, my dad would wait for that guy to go to sleep. He would take it out a little ways, put a table to make it where the sound would go the opposite way, and he would turn it back on for me for the later for later on. And yeah, I'm thankful for him doing that for me.
How much has scope changed those two fisheries? Because I haven't been out there, like I said, since 18 when it wasn't. I mean, it still wasn't really a thing there at Mead.
Yeah, honestly, on mead, we don't really use it.
Really?
You don't catch that many fish using it on mead.
Why
There's
is
so
that?
much.
You would think that it would be I mean, you would think Mead would be tailor made for forward facing sonar.
The big thing is that we have so many trash fish. We have so many carp, and our gizzard shad get up to 4 to 5 pounds. Like you're seeing massive gizzard shad.
So it's
where-
dirty scoping at Mead, even though the lake is crystal clean. You're dropping
Yep.
it in, and if you want to, you could be casting at something every single
That's
cast
not
for
even
12
Oh,
hours.
100%. And it might not even be a bass for 80% of the time you're doing it.
Really?
So most of the time, I barely use it. I only use it for like, hey, my jig's coming up. Is there one following it?
Okay.
Or if I'm throwing a top water, I'll see if one's underneath it, because if there's one underneath it not taking it, then you could throw something in behind it.
Mark, I'm not out. I still like it. My best finish this year is no scope spinnerbait in a foot of water. People forget I did much better before the scope era. I was just saying it. I know how much when they had the U.S. Open on Mojave, that was 100.
Mojave is 100% smallmouth using a live scope. That's all it is. Like 2 years ago, I think I came in third or fourth, somewhere up there in the top 2 years ago, and I was throwing a vixen and a paycheck topwaters. And all I was doing was scoping in 20 foot of water, seeing them on the bottom, and then they would come all the way up from the bottom and take that thing down. I mean, I was the only one throwing the top waters, and yeah, it was.
Dude, that's the coolest thing ever. So I went to a little lake in Canada that my family's been to for years and years and years. Hadn't been back in a decade, and I took my uncle there a couple years ago. And it's a 18-foot Lunds with 20 horse Johnsons, and you trolfer and you just rainbow cast to the bank. But I had the cat with the scope on it.
Yep.
We went out there, and every single point you could throw a Ned, you could throw a minnow, and they would come up.
Yep.
And I threw a pop-ar over one, and it was like 22 feet off the end of this point. And to watch them to go bloop and you don't see anything, and then all of a sudden just
smokes it.
It was I didn't throw anything else for the next 3 days. I literally
100%.
just top watered and watched those things come. I mean, you would watch them come, and then you would see the blow up visually and on the screen. But I don't think you realize how, especially in that cleaner water and especially smallmouth with competition, how aggressive though. They're piranhas, man.
Oh, 100%. I saw that in St. Clair in 2024 when we did the Opens. I had a shot to win that thing before the wind changed the final day.
On a top water.
Because no, on a jig, on a 3/4 ounce jig with a 6-inch trailer.
Oh my God.
I was throwing 15-pound line while everybody else is throwing a little spinning rod. I was 20 foot deep and would throw that jig right over the top of them, and they would come from 20 feet all the way up to 6 feet and smoke it before it even got down there. And I was catching 5-6 pounders. And I told my dad, I was like, hey, if the weather doesn't change or anything, I'm going to win this thing, you know? And didn't get a check out of it because the first day that wind blew so hard I couldn't do any of that, really, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was one of the best practices I've ever had, and I've been on St. Clair probably
I remember that event.
the last 7 years because my grandparents have a lake house in Michigan that I go to for the 4th of July every year.
Okay.
So I always bring that boat up there, and on the same lake is Louis Stout.
Oh,
So I got to know him pretty well. For
Bass
the last
Fishing
2
Hall
years.
of Famer, writer,
Yeah.
legendary Cubs fan, and cigar aficionado, Louis
Yeah.
Stout.
So I remember going up there and talking to him all the time, and he just texted me this morning congratulating me, and it's always fun going up there, and I always like going in those Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nighters, the 3-hour events, you know, and you're used to those. I know you've done those in Oklahoma and stuff,
yeah.
but
Yeah, you can fish
we
on
don't-
Monday
we don't
through
have-
Friday.
yeah, we don't have any of those out here.
There's no jackpot on me. There's not like a Wednesday
park
night jackpot.
Our park service will just shut it straight down.
Really?
Yep.
I'm
I mean,
shocked that there's not a
we will do a
midweek-
few jackpots like on a Saturday, Sunday during the summertime, but nothing that's like more than 15 boats, 10 boats.
It's
type deal.
expensive to fish out there too. Like, what are you running? Like, what are you running gas per gallon out in that neck of the woods?
Like 520, 540.
You gotta.
I mean, at
fish, man.
Havasu, I was wasting. I had probably $130 of gas every day, 140. So I was burning a lot of gas, and that's only, I want to say 30 to 36 gallons a day.
Yeah, you're running a lot. Well, you were running
So-
back to that 12-pounder every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Did your
Of
did
course,
your
it was all the
triple
way at the south end of the lake. So
did
I
your
was like,
triple A's catch any? There were a couple guys that were asking questions on that.
The first day, my caught like a 2.5, 3-pounder. That was like one of the last ones that helped us. And then the second day, he caught a 3.5, 4-pounder that really helped that bag out.
So what do you just have him cast a little Kitech out there or drag?
Well, the guy that was in second was a local, or the second day was a local.
Okay.
And
Well, he
I
knew
actually
what
met
was
him
up.
the week before when I took my fiance down there for a few days of practice. He was flipping the toolies right there in front of Windsor where I launched. I go, hey, you got the same boat I do, like same color, everything, except it was a foot shorter. So we got talking for a while, and it's like, yeah, I'm doing the Anglers Marine tournament this weekend, and I was like, well, I got to go back. I got a different tournament home, and then I'll come back out, and sure enough, he draws me on day 2. I'm like, how small of a world is this? Like,
Yeah.
I met him last week, and he actually came in second in that Anglers Marine tournament. So I was fishing my stretch, and he was like, yeah, I caught a 5-pound bedfish right there, a 4-pound bedfish right there. I was like, well, at least you're confident in this area. You like this area, so we're good. And he's throwing a jerk bait, and got one. I'm like, all right, well, there's a few smallies in there, and I felt like I don't even think I caught a single smallmouth the whole last week and a half on Havasu.
Wow. You got the Ranger Z518 with the Pro XS 150. Like, did you actually have to take the boat?
Yeah, it's in the backyard right now.
So do you
Like,
have plans with that, or is it for sale?
On Mother's Day, I had to put a hitch in my mom's car to tow that thing home.
What kind of car does she have?
A little Honda Range Roller.
Okay, so it's like one of the little SUV
Highlander.
things.
Highlander.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
interesting. So
Yeah, it's
is
just a
that thing
USB.
sold?
It
Is
looks
it for
like-
sale?
Oh, it's for sale. Yeah. I'm gonna try to sell that thing.
Okay.
If anybody wants one, let me know.
The contact, either get through social media or the website if you guys want to go out.
Yeah,
Does
at the
that
bottom.
guy do?
Yeah, he guides, but he's my employee. So
Okay.
he goes whenever you're real busy, I'll help guide, or if the stripes are really going, I'll do all the stripes.
Okay. There's a phone number there, but you can also contact him. It's just Steckel,
And then
Steckel
yeah,
fishing.com.
if you go all the way down to the bottom, there's a little
There you go.
oh, I guess it's not there. Yeah.
Well, there's number, Facebook,
Yeah, there's numbers,
Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram.
YouTube, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to film all of this for this past week, and it's been so hot down there. My GoPro overheats about 6 times a day.
Oh, dude, you
So
need to. It's super easy. You need to go with the DJI Osmo Action 5,
okay.
and then you can take the battery out, or the Osmo doesn't overheat, but the GoPro
Okay.
will not overheat if you take the battery out of the GoPro and you plug it into a power source.
Well, I'm just afraid of all the bumps at Havasu. The next thing you know, that cord's coming right out.
Yeah, that's how I do it. But that Osmo doesn't overheat.
Yeah, I might have to look
filming
into
this
that.
year for the first time in 4 years.
Is that the 360 camera, or is that just
no? It's
the
just like the GoPro, and it's super easy.
Because I run the 360 because I want to see the whole boat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but try
'Cause-
taking the battery out and plugging it in.
Yeah, I'll
That's
definitely try that. Because
that's
I mean,
the-
it overheats every single day here in Vegas because it's over 105 every day almost.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
But it's a dry heat.
It's still like you can see my cheek. I'm all red and sunburned from this past week.
Yeah. You think we'll be good for the U.S. Open this year? Like to get in? Like you think they'll be able to get it in? It's not going to drop too much.
It's going to be a little difficult, but they got a lot of boat slips available.
Okay.
So that's only $25 a night for a boat slip. Like, how can you pass that up? It's got power and everything. All you
Yeah.
need is the adapter to go to that power source. And so I already got a boat slip, and I'm actually taking the RV out there to camp at the RV spots there because I want to save myself some time from coming in all the time, you know?
Yeah. Is there fewer quality fish per acre in Lake Mead than any other tournament lake in the country, in your opinion? Like, I feel from my experience there, like we would go into a large cove and there were maybe 3 fish that lived in a specific area. And once you caught those, it wasn't like, oh, we found where they are. It was like, we caught
It's
that
like
one.
we've caught them and they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, that's kind of how Lake Mead
pretty
is, right?
accurate. It's changed over the last few years because when COVID happened, it actually shut our ramps down. They didn't let anybody out. And then our next year was our lowest water year. So we only had one ramp at Hemingway right by the dam, and it had 1 lane. So it would take 4.5 to 5.5 hours to get off the lake in the afternoon. Dude, it was ridiculous. There was bass boats trying to launch in the dirt and take out on the dirt because they knew it would take a lot less. I mean, it would take 5.5 hours, no doubt, trying to get out in the afternoon.
So they got
in the
no
summer.
pressure for like a year.
So
and a
they got
half.
they had 2 good spawns, and
Okay.
now we're seeing 5 to 7 pounders as big fishes.
Oh, really?
Like,
So it's
oh,
like
100%.
Mead is like, what do you think the
Mead-
US Open will take, like 18 a day when the
No, it's not going to take the 11, 12 like it used to.
okay.
It's
So we'll
probably
see
going
more
to
big
take
fish.
13 to 14, maybe 15. It
Any big
depends how the water's
smallies,
doing.
or was it a good
Oh,
large
yeah.
one?
Oh yeah. There's the biggest smallmouth I caught last year was 5.25.
Holy
You know?
smoke. That's like that's Mojave size.
Oh, 100%. Like you remember when they had I don't know if they had it the year that you did it, but Bridgeford was putting on the $50,000
Yeah, no,
for
it
the
definitely
lake
had it.
record smallmouth.
We had the Bridgeford meats in the boat.
Oh, 100%. But they came close to that a few times in the last few years, you know, and but they haven't done that lately and stuff, but but
Interesting.
they've even come close down at Lake Mojave with I think 7.4 or 7.5 is like the lake record down there for smallmouth, and I've known a lot of guys that have caught like a 7.2, 7.3 that are right there, you know.
Yeah. Well, you sell the bass boat, you're good to go for the next couple years then. Using tournament winnings to supplement the Bassmaster
Yeah.
Opens and entries and all that. And then that's kind of the old school way of how it works.
Yeah,
You pop a big win and then chase the dream.
yeah. With the WON BASS last year, they actually had the top 5 from each tournament got to qualify for the
Yep.
nation championship. So right behind me on that shoulder, I got that nation berth. So I'm going to Hartwell this year, and the last time I was at Hartwell is for the nation championship, and I actually came in 10th in that one. So I'm excited to get back there. I've taken the high school kids out there twice now, and so I've been out there 3 or 4 times, and that's one of
My
my
favorite
favorite
lake in the
lakes.
country.
It's
It's
one of my favorites.
top one right there. And I know it's
And
changed a lot over the past years with scope and the cane, and the
Yeah.
fish have moved a little. And
it sets up perfect for what I like to fish and how I
Yeah.
like to fish.
I'm driving up to New York to try to qualify for that tournament. I'm going to go fish Champlain in the regional to try to get to that, because then the classics on it too in the spring.
Yep.
So
Yep.
can't win it if you're not in it.
Exactly. So gonna
How
try
long
that.
is that
and then,
drive?
It's 32 to 34 hours.
God, that's a 70-hour round trip drive, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it is living out west, dude. I mean, it's horrible for us out here because everything's far. When I did all the opens, the closest one was Eufaula, and that was probably a
22?
19-hour drive.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22, somewhere in there.
I mean, have you ever entertained the idea of like, hey, let's go move with everybody on Chickamauga or Gunnersville? Or...
Yeah, definitely had that thought with them and talked with them about it. My mom retires this next year, so we might look into it a little bit more in the next 2 or 3 years for sure. I know my fiance wouldn't mind moving out there as well.
How often do you actually like go do the tourist Vegas thing? Like, could you ever just like be like, oh, we're just gonna go on a date and hang out on the strip?
We do a date every once in a while out there. There's some really good food spots out there, so it's like, all right, well, we'll go out to the strip once or twice and do that. But
As a whole,
my
it's a pain in the ass.
yeah, my fiance likes to gamble too a little bit, so she's, oh, let's go here. We got a food comp, so let's do this. All right.
What's your 3 favorite Vegas restaurants?
Oof. There's definitely a sushi bar in the Cosmopolitan. Ooh. That's pretty darn good.
Okay.
Those ones are hard. I'm a foodie, but I don't always go to the same spots every time.
Okay. So have you ever been to like that secret pizza place that's in one of them?
I have not, no.
Oh. Do you do any shows? Do you do any of the Vegas shows?
Yeah, we went to Absinthe a few months ago, which is it's a pretty cool show. It's kind of like it's an in-person show where everything's right there with you. So they're picking on you. They bring people up on stage and stuff, and it's pretty darn cool. Like, we got one of the outside seats, but there was nobody up close. So we got to move up close and be front row, and it was different. But my fiance loves that show.
Are you
and then we went to the Sphere too for the Alice in Wonderland.
That's the thing that's all 360.
The big
Is that as
dorm,
cool as it looks?
Oh, dude, it's awesome.
Could you imagine if they did Bassmaster live in the Sphere?
Dude, imagine if they did the Bassmaster Classic through the Sphere. They would have that thing. That would be amazing. Bring it back to Lake Mead and do that there. Oh,
I would like the Sphere, but a topwater like a frogging tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, where you can have all that video put in behind you as you're weighing in. That would be amazing.
Well, no, I'm talking about like on the water stuff. Like, could you do it to where like you're watching it on the Sphere and like
100%.
A guy like when one just flushes like think Jordan Lee heavy
Yeah,
hitters.
you can do like you can do a big watching party with that thing. Have hundreds of people in there, and you can have a big TV of just you're looking up at like where he is, and then the frog's way over here, and dude, it would be awesome.
That would be badass.
Yeah,
I'd never thought about that. Yeah, just
right?
one of those where they're just cracking them on top water.
Yeah, that would be freaking awesome.
Are you a Knights fan?
Yes, I just watched them win overtime last night.
I fell asleep midway
I had to stay up
till
like 10 o'clock last night waiting for that thing to go off.
I woke up at 2 with my contacts still in on the couch, not knowing where I was, and it had actually like clicked over. I have no idea what was going on, but it was such a good game last night. Those are
I told my fiance after the first period, I go, hey, it's going to get tied 2-2 and it's going to go overtime. Watch. Sure enough, it gets tied 2-2, goes to overtime, and we win in overtime.
Have you been to a Knights game?
Oh yeah, I've been to probably like 20 or 30 of them.
Are
I
they
love
as,
them,
as
dude.
badass in person as they seem like with the
Oh,
intro and all the
100%.
stuff?
The intro is amazing, dude. It's
I'm
phenomenal.
jealous.
Dude, you need to come out here. We'll go out.
I will. I mean, you were probably there for their Stanley Cup run too.
Yep.
Yeah, and their very first
Hopefully,
year. Did you ever get to
hopefully
watch
again
Marc
this year.
Andre play in goal before they traded him away to the Wild?
Yeah. I watched him, like, I think once or twice, not too many times.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff to get in trouble, but a lot
Yeah,
of cool fisheries.
we're getting the A's here pretty soon too. So
Oh yeah, and
we're gonna have.
and a football team and a baseball team and a hockey team.
We just need a men's basketball is about the only thing that we're missing now.
Dude, I'm in Oklahoma City and we've got the Thunder. I know they just swept the Lakers,
Yeah.
but I just can't force myself to watch an entire
I know,
NBA basketball game. Like if it's 5 minutes left and they're actually like running up and down and guarding,
Then
and you
I'll
can tell,
watch. Yeah,
like I watch it, but like from the beginning, like I don't know.
I can't stand a full basketball. Yeah, I just can't.
I get different strokes for different folks, but
Yeah.
all
But
right. Anything
hockey is
else?
crazy.
Yeah, no, the Golden Knights, it's amazing there. And then I actually went to a Ducks game
Oh
this
yeah.
past year
Oh,
because that's
yeah.
where my wife is from, Orange County. So
Yep,
we went
California.
up to a Ducks game, which was really awesome. So
Yeah.
anything
yeah.
else you want to get in here before I let you go? I think this is a cool story, and I mean, dude,
Did
you've
you see
obviously proven you can catch them.
Did you see the tournament for the Strike King, the one that they're doing in Table Rock? The virtual
online
that
tournament.
goes?
Yeah.
So I qualified for that from the
Oh,
West
hell
Coast.
yeah.
So I'm gonna actually go try to do that to get to the roads of the Opens and see if I can have them pay for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a
We'll
really
see.
cool thing.
We'll see how that one goes.
Fishing Chaos is doing. Let me see if I can pull it up right here. I'm glad you mentioned that out. It's the Strike King Road to the Opens qualifiers, and how much is it? It's really cheap. It's like what?
It's like $20.
$20. You have all. This one runs through the 31st of this month, and if you finish in the top percentage of your region, you get to go to Table Rock, and then if you win that tournament, they cover all of your entry fees. And there's literally no reason not to do this if you fish and you
exactly
fish the Open.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna try it, and I qualified. I only weighed 6 smallmouth from Mojave to put on there. I was like, all right, well, I'm in the top 5 and top 10 now, and it was the last 2 days. I was like, all right, I don't need to put in any more fish. I'm good, and qualified for it, and gonna go try it and see how I do. I've been to Table Rock once before and did pretty good. It was just a fun day of fishing.
When is it on Table Rock? What time of the year?
September.
Yeah,
I think it's like 17th or something like that.
You'll
somewhere
have fun
around there.
on that. That'll be a scope-a-thon.
Yeah.
I just got back from Table Rock with Mark Jeffries.
Yeah, I heard that.
He was dragging a tube, and I was scoping him off the bottom. But I'll tell you, the crazy thing with Table Rock and the different fisheries is like you go to Rayburn, and you can put a 1/4 ounce minnow. I mean, you can rainbow it. It'll hit the water, and they'll go, "What's that?"
Whoa.
And then they'll swim up and eat it. Table Rock, if there is even a dimple on the water within 30 feet of them, and they're in the top 30 feet of the water column, they go, "Oh my God, it's a minnow!" And they go straight to the bottom, terrified. And it's unbelievable how different fish, and they both get at the same amount of pressure, but it's unbelievable
100%.
how fish react to baits and sounds on different fisheries. And like Rayburn has 150, 200 boats on it every single day, and they still eat it with reckless abandon. And Table Rock, I mean, you have to Havasu them basically into eating the minnow. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand why.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But no, that's kind of like a West Coast fishery in the Ozarks, because you have the Kings and the James and the White, and you can run up and get in the dirty stuff and power fish, but primarily clean water, just a lot of standing timber in it that you guys.
And then they got smallmouth, largemouth, spots. They got all of them. So it's a different where you can go whatever way you want to go. If you want to go try for those smallmouth, you can try, and they do pretty well, and they're pretty good size there too.
Yeah, I might have to try to. Holy cow! Leading the Eastern 3, Robbie Anderson from Oklahoma. has 122.5 inches from
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
I
That
think I
is
had like 97 or 98 and I
23,
qualified from the
24,
West.
25, 25. That's a
That's
that's a
big.
mid 40s pound bag for his best 5. And he caught him the 7th, the 8th, the 10th. Yeah. 23, 23 and a half, 24 and a half,
Damn.
25, 25, 75. And he's doing it out of a yak on a public body of water.
That's crazy. That's even more impressive.
I fished the Scott Martin one a couple months ago, and I won the region that I was in. But like I was, like the guy I was competing against was in like a John boat with just a trolling motor or like a kayak, and I felt kind of bad. Like I'm out there in the bat, but I think that's one of the cool things about it is as long as you're on a public body of water using the artificial, it's kind of open to anybody. So
yeah, but then you got to qualify with a bass boat at Table Rock.
yeah, you gotta come up with
you gotta have a good boat that goes out there. You can't just take a kayak out there and hey, I won.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate the time.
I sure appreciate it, Matt.
Up early.
It's one of my favorite podcasts. So I'm always watching, always listening.
And I'll also say, background wise, I mean, we have the biggest and the best names on the show. Had Scott Martin on last night. Obviously, he's got it all decked out with all of his stuff. You are top 10 as far as audio quality, lighting, internet speed, and background with the trophies. And
I got a few stripes stuff.
That's a trophy right there, isn't it? Grab that trophy real quick.
Yeah, right here.
Very cool. Very cool.
But yeah, it's nice. And then I got 3rd place from the U.S. Open right there. And then we have what we call a desert dash, which is one day Lake Mead, the other day Lake Mojave. And me and my dad won this big one right here that's under that light. And we won that thing by like 7.5 pounds that day.
Dude, I love those old school heavy trophies.
Dude, it was one of the most fun tournaments I've ever had. We were throwing crankbaits on these super windy points, and there was only 2 guys that come in with a limit. The other guys had 17.5 pounds. We had almost 23. Ooh. And we were like, we need 1 more pound to win this thing in our heads the whole time because we were down by a pound going into the tournament the second day. And we're like, oh, if we can just do that, we'll win this thing, And,
does your dad scope?
No, yeah, he does a little bit, but not as much.
So when you guys fish together, that's like pretty dangerous because he knows every rock, pebble, stone, everything out there, and you use an electronics guy.
He's a killer drop shotter. I mean, he can go behind anybody and catch him on drop shots. I mean, it's his deal. I don't understand it, but he catches them left and right on it.
I love that. That's my gig. Why is it out west? And I don't want to give out trade secrets, but you mentioned it. The browns, the ox bloods, like the ugliest. Like if you look at the robo worms out there and the colors, it's always like some weird earth color, brown color, really faded, muted deal instead
or even purple.
Yeah.
Purple
what is it with
too.
that out on the west that they like those ox blood?
It's more of our craw color. A lot of our like Colorado River system is all mostly crawfish. We don't have like Havasu has shad in it, but you're not seeing a ton of it. And every fish that you're gonna take and actually catch is gonna be eating crawfish. So that's what we're mostly going after. Like our most favorite, me and my dad, is the desert craw with that little orange tip to it. I don't understand why, but they freaking just
is
love
that green pumpkin with the orange tip?
It's green pumpkin with a brown bottom with an orange tip.
Dude, I just picked up a pack of those and smoked them on it. They had it at one of the tackle stores here, and I had never seen it before.
If you go to Eufaula, Oklahoma, that's my dad.
Well, orange at Oklahoma, first they go nuts for orange on Oklahoma.
My dad had somebody that was like, really, you guys, you're West Coast guys, and your drop shots, you're really gonna throw that thing out there? And he smoked his boater with that drop shot that day. He was like, oh, okay, well, now you made me a believer. I'm gonna start drop shotting a little bit,
Okay, so the one I found was very similar.
There might be one that's close to the one you're thinking. I think it's
Yeah.
more brown is the one I'm talking. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on a second. It keeps pulling up the different colors, but yeah, desert crop, very similar to the one I found, but mine was like way more vibrant. It was almost like green pumpkin with like a bright orange tail on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's one of our favorite colors out here.
I would
we're
say
big robos.
Yeah,
We're big robo.
Would you
people out
say
here.
that the robo worm? This is just from my experience over the past 15 years of throwing them. I like if I'm flipping something, I might be like, oh, I think I might be getting a few more bites on like a watermelon red or a green pumpkin or a Okeechobee craw, but I've never seen more of a difference of changing colors of robo worms to be able to directly notice more bites. Like you could be throwing a color and getting 3 or 4 bites and then like change to something that's either like a bright, a morning sunrise, an Aaron's morning dawn, switch it to an oxblood or something. And it's like light switch. It's wild how that works.
I had most of the practice I was trying to throw a bluegill color, the bluegill robo, which is basically the same thing, but it's green. It's with a bright green yellow tail on it.
The bold bluegill.
And the bold bluegill.
Chartreuse belly.
I go, let's throw that in there because they don't like bluegill, so let's just throw that in. I would catch maybe 2 to every 5, where that one right there, I would catch 5 out of every 6. You know, I mean, I was smoking them on the desert crawl versus that bold bluegill. But I tried something different, but it never worked.
Transparent. So I'm a believer. So like Aaron's morning dawn versus morning dawn. This is, maybe we shouldn't be saying this, but Aaron's morning dawn has the white belly underneath it, which means that the bait isn't truly transparent. The morning dawn is a completely transparent bait. I'm big on early in the morning, overcast, Aaron's morning dawn to create a solid profile, but still have that pink hue to it. Whereas if it's sunny, morning dawn with the transparency seems to get more bites. So if I plan on drop shotting that day, the first couple hours, or if it's overcast, always Aaron's morning dawn. Once it gets sunny, sun gets up, go to morning dawn because of the light penetration through the bait.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I don't throw too many translucent ones.
Okay.
I'm more of the more solid that has more color to it, where they could see all those 3 different colors or 2 different colors in that thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's just how I feel. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's just how I feel about this.
I don't think that's overthinking it. I think it's just based on what I've noticed in it. Are you a nose hook drop shot robo worm guy, or like a rebar straight shank, like 2-aught straight shank finesse drop shot guy?
I'm more of a nose hook for sure. But if I'm throwing around any cover, I'll throw that like a little weedless shank hook on there.
And then heavyweight or lightweight? Like I always feel like a quarter is so light and takes forever to get down there. I want it to go vroom, get down there and be able to shake it and move it. So I'm a 3/8 half ounce guy 98% of the time.
3/8 all year long.
Black and or shiny?
Shiny or a green pumpkin.
Oh, a green pumpkin weight.
Yeah. Yep. Wu Tungsten makes a green pumpkin dipped weight, and there's a few other places that you can actually buy the powder, heat up the lead or whatever you want to do, and dunk it in to make a green pumpkin.
Believer that in some instances the shiny actually generates more bites as the fish sees the flash, goes down and eats it, and then other times you don't want the fish to see the weight.
Well, yeah, I've seen it happen a lot of times where they'll eat the weight instead of the actual bait when it's shiny. So I want it more colored, so they're not doing that. And we saw a big difference the other day where my dad was throwing a tungsten, and I was throwing a lead. Like I wanted to save a little bit of tungsten, so I was like, all right, I'll throw a lead out there, and he was catching 5 to my 1. And he's like, we're both talking, we're like, man, you're catching a lot more than I am, and I'm in the front of the boat. We're casting at the same stuff. And we're both talking. We're like, yeah, it's got to be the tungsten hitting the rocks, making a different sound versus the lead. And sure enough, I put a tungsten on. 2 casts later, catch one. Another cast, catch one. And I'm like, it was 100% tungsten versus lead made a big difference in drop shotting with rocks.
Teardrop or cylindrical or round?
The cylindrical.
The cylindrical one. So you like the longer ones over the teardrop?
Yep. Because a lot of
why?
the time with for rocks,
Okay.
they go through a lot easier. Because all of our lakes mainly is 80% rock is what we're throwing at, and you got to get through those. Tungsten's not cheap anymore, so you need to make sure that you're tying them on and bringing them up every time. Um, but yeah, the teardrop ones, they're good, but for me, I feel like I get hung up a lot more with them.
Interesting. See, I'm a believer that the teardrop falls truer, so you have less variation when you're casting to fish or cover. So I like to know that it's falling perfectly straight down. So the cylindrical ones, to me, sometimes will.
Really?
Yeah.
You feel like that? Huh.
And then I also think that you get more bottom contact with this, with the teardrop ones.
Yeah, but then I feel like you get a little more action out of the bait because that weight can sit on the bottom, and then when you wiggle it, it brings that weight up a little bit. So you're not bringing your whole bait up.
That's a fantastic point too. So yeah.
That's how I feel with that drop shot is I'm working a little bit more in the same spot where it's going up an inch or so, half an inch, but it's making that big of a difference where it's staying there instead of bringing the whole weight. Now they're looking at the weight like, oh, it's off the bottom. Let me eat that,
Yeah, that might have changed my opinion on that.
That's how I feel a lot of the times with that drop shot.
Do you vary your leader length or are you just a state? Okay. Is that a key?
That's for robos and stuff. I always like probably 10 to 12, 14 inches.
Okay.
If I'm throwing a dice, it's got to be 1.5 to 2 feet. It's got to have a long leader to it.
To allow you to shake the dice in one spot.
No. That's one thing that I've learned. That's a little secret of mine, that you throw that dice out there, you just hold it. You do not shake it. You do not move it. You get it right to where that fish is, and you just sit right there still. Next thing you know, he'll come right over and just smack it. I've seen it so many times with our clear water lakes that you throw that thing in front and you're shaking and shaking and shaking. That fish will just go and turn away so fast. I mean, it's crazy how those fish they know what that shake looks like now. And I mean, I've showed my dad, I'm like, I'm just sitting there just waiting for that fish. And that 6.5 pounder I caught the first day, there was a male on a bed that's 1.5 pounds. And I had a tree off the right side that had 2 3-pounders, and I'm looking for the 3-pounders, looking around. Next thing you know, that 6.5 comes out and it's just swimming. I throw that dice in front of it, doesn't want it. I throw it out 10 feet in front of it because she's starting to leave. And I just sit there and I'm just holding it, not moving it. Next thing you know, donk, just going straight for those cribs. And I'm like, dude, I got to put the drag down on this one because it's going to get in there. It's going to break me off. And sure enough, we get in the boat. It's a 6.5 pounder.
Top 2 West Coast drop shotters in your opinion right now?
Oof. I don't even know who drop shots all that much, to be honest with you.
I would still have to put Bertrand in there.
Yeah.
And probably Cliff Perch would be my second.
Yeah. Definitely those two would probably be right up at the top.
You want a lot of money on the drop shot.
Yeah. I would say, yeah.
Sean, he goes, I can't control my ADHD shake. I think I'm the same thing. Like, you just get used to doing a specific thing.
100%. Like, I tried it, but I can physically see them not wanting it.
Yeah.
So I've done it so much where I'm just sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just hold it still, see what they do. And next thing you know, 5.5 pound smallmouth comes over and eats it. It's just like, oh, okay.
My biggest thing, especially with the largemouth in Oklahoma, is I almost fish it like a spoon sometimes, where I let that thing get down to the bottom and then pop it off the bottom, and then boom, the weight hits, and then it's completely slack. And then the next time you pick up on it, it's solid.
Yeah. Well,
Just
a lot of the
get their
times
attention.
is getting their attention. So like when those smallmouth are cruising and you throw out in front of them, you shake it just one time to get their attention that, oh, something's moving, let me look at it. But then you hold it still and they'll come all the way up to it. But if you're shaking it, those smallmouth will get their attention, and then they'll get another foot closer and they go, oh, this is not something I want to eat, it's something foreign, and they start going the other way.
Yeah. I think the drop shot, like we've seen a resurgence in the spinnerbait. A lot of that's just because of conditions and the way it's done. You saw Jason Christie win an MPFL on it. You saw this last Open on Grand get one on it. It's been a big thing. There's been more during the shad spawn and that. But I think the best thing that ever happened to the drop shot was the jig head minnow.
100%. Yep. It's definitely changed a lot of people's minds on how to, instead of throwing a drop shot, they can throw a 3/32 ounce minnow on top of them, and still keep it right there for 5-10 seconds versus on the bottom and not above them. Because our bass love to feed up, so they always will go up to eat. They don't like to go down as much, but they will.
I could talk drop shots for 2 hours. We almost
I know.
there. So I said we were wrapping it up, and now we're an hour and a half in. So, all right, Cody, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to get in here?
Of course. No, I'm all good. Sure appreciate you having me on here.
Well, thanks for getting up at 6 a.m. after a big win and jumping on
the
bright lights of Vegas.
Got to get the pontoon ready for tomorrow for a guide trip. So
nice.
Be out there getting the striper rods ready.
I like it. All right. Thanks, Cody. Congrats on the big win. And like I said, if you guys are looking for a boat, he's got one in his backyard right now, and you're out there on the West Coast.
I already got a text. So
nice. All right. See ya.
All right. See ya.
All right. There you go. Cody Steckel. Like that last 20-25 minutes, like I was playing a little bit of devil's advocate there. But there was some meat on the bone when it came to a rig that's an incredibly simple rig. I did have it's still sore at Table Rock. I had probably the most severe drop shot injury that I've ever experienced. So I have a little drop shot keeper that I keep on the bottom of my rod, and I had my rod down and I missed the drop shot keeper. So I basically slingshotted the weight, and it hit the knuckle on the inside of my finger, a 1/2 ounce weight from about 1.5 feet away. And I still can barely bend that finger on the inside. It's a pretty severe drop shot injury there. Day 4 tomorrow with Frank Scalish. I don't think we've ever done a drop shot show with Frank Scalish. I may have to ask him. I mean, the dude is up in Cleveland and fishes, but he fishes a lot of large. I'll have to ask him if he's a drop shot guy. I've never talked drop shots with Frank Scalish, but that's all we got for today. If you didn't listen to last night's show, Scott Martin came on. It's like a 40-minute interview with Scott Martin. First time I've had him on. Really appreciate that. He was flying out this morning to do some stuff, some interesting stuff in there, particularly towards the end. He talks about some of his earlier wins, what his plans are for the next year. Then Tom Brubaker from Fishing Chaos came on to talk about a one-off tournament on Lake Gunnersville, some of the top influencers, some of the top pros. That's going to be live stream on everybody's platform. It was a little bit of a debacle at the end because we got some of the guys who were practicing from Santee Cooper on, and they were all like really tired and grumpy at the end, but it was actually pretty funny. So go back and watch that last night. iTunes should be completely updated. Got that done. The rest had some issues with the consistency of those going out. I think I have that fixed moving on. And then if you don't have your notifications turned on or you're not subscribed, like I said, we've been doing some evening shows. We've been mixing it around to still get the BTL content in. Highly recommend that you do that. So this week on Kentucky Lake, we're staying with Jason Bonds and Blake Schroeder, Matt Steffen, myself, Josh Giraldi from Canada. So there's 5 of us in the house. I'm sure I might be able to talk a couple of those guys into jumping on for live shows as we try to I need to get revenge on Kentucky Lake. Last time we were at Kentucky was last year. And I mean, listen, I'll talk about when I have good tournaments, and I'll talk about when I have bad tournaments. It was the worst bass tournament that I have ever had in my life. I caught one bass on day one for 2 pounds 9 ounces. I zeroed on the second day, and I finished 200th out of 220. And for some reason, I cannot wait to get to Kentucky Lake and get revenge on some of those fish. Hopefully it's a post-spawn deal, some fry garter, some offshore, everything in between. Practice starts a day early, so we'll be out there on the weekend, but it should be a good derby. So, all right, that's all we got for today. Same time, same place tomorrow, day 4. We'll talk to everybody then. See ya.